flexing every one of my joints in an attempt to possibly stabilize this stream because Carmilla has not been good to me these past few weeks. I hope it's not a curse, it's not a curse. I know, one thing I did want to mention, just real quick, before we get started here, I know one of my VTubing friends, Pocky, goes by Pocky-chan here on Twitch. I'm just gonna quickly shout her out because today is her debut day. Follow maybe even a few bits. I'm sure she'd really appreciate it. I know I would. Just a little gesture. I know lately I've been drawing chibis for VTubers. Background noise. It's probably like just my my computer fans running, and I can't really do anything about it. It's kind of warm in my room right now, and I would have cool on too, except that would be even worse for audio. So yeah, there's nothing I can really do about it, sorry. Yeah, so I have my cooling fans off, regular fan is causing the commotion. Anyway, I was saying I was drawing chibis, for a couple of VTubers that debuted recently. Don't tell Pocky, but I'm probably going to give her something too. Wink, wink. Won't be streamed up. Won't be streamed. Anything else? Yes, it is on my coffee table. I can't really move it anywhere else. There's really no room. And the fans aren't even really usually that loud, I don't think. Unless, like, maybe it gets really warm, but as some of you may know, like, if it gets way too warm, it just shuts down. Like, the entire PC just cuts everything off, completely unprompted. So, I would say, given all of my limitations right now, this is about as good as it gets. And my microphone is a USB, so like, I have to keep it, like, right next to my computer so that you can hear me. Yeah, it's kind of like you have to take it or leave it. It's like some proper cooling issues. Is it dusty inside? Probably, but I have no idea. It's probably dusty inside. I have no idea how many fans are built into it. I have no idea how to clean it. So, again, like, you come to my stream and it's really just, yeah, I really don't have much to work with. This is the best I can do. Anything else I wanted to bring up? I guess, like, there's a fair chance that tomorrow night, I think around, I think it's around like 9:30 CST Central Time, I'm probably going to be doing some AI dungeon with Rem, and possibly a few other friends if they can make it, over on her channel. So be on the lookout for that tomorrow. I don't really got anything else. Let's bring up CARMILLA. Let's bring in the demon. AI dungeon. Yeah, last time with multiplayer AI dungeon, it was really insane. I know last time I tried to bring up CARMILLA, like, I was drinking either like coffee or soda or something, and it was making my throat real phlegmy. The substitute I have isn't the greatest, but it is like flavored vitamin water at the very least. The only thing is it's lemonade flavor, and I know lemonade can have that effect to some degree as well, so just hoping it doesn't affect my narration too much. Okay, I was just waiting for the game to pop up. I can switch over. There it is. Okay, load. So last we left off, quote unquote, with a big asterisk. We were taking a ride through the woods over to, I think, like the abandoned castle place? I forget the names, but anyway. And we were riding with the general dude who lost his niece. It was about 10 months since we had last seen him, but at that time it sufficed to make an alteration of years in his appearance. He had grown thinner, something of gloom and anxiety had taken the place of that cordial serenity which used to characterize his features. His green eyes, always penetrating, now gleamed with a sterner light from under his shaggy gray eyebrows. It was not such a change as grief alone usually induces, and angrier passions seemed to have had their share in bringing it about. We had not long resumed our drive when the general began to talk. With his usual soldierly directness, he spoke of the bereavement which he had sustained in the death of his beloved niece and ward. Cursed be the hellish arts to which she had fallen a victim! How is it possible that heaven should tolerate so monstrous an indulgence of the lusts and malignity of hell? If it is not all too painful, might you be able to detail the circumstances which justify the strong terms in which you express yourself? I should tell you all with pleasure, but you would not believe me. Why should I not? Because you believe in nothing but what consists with your own prejudices and illusions. I remember when I was like you, but I have learned better. Try me. I'm not such a dogmatist as you suppose. Besides which, I very well know that you generally require proof for what you believe, and I am therefore very strongly predisposed to respect your conclusions. You are right in supposing that I have not been led lightly into a belief in the marvelous, for what I have experienced is marvelous. Yet I have been forced by extraordinary evidence to credit that which ran counter diametrically to all my theories. I have been made the dupe of a preternatural conspiracy. Despite his assurances to the contrary, I saw my father at this point glance at the general with, as I thought, a marked suspicion of his sanity. The general did not see it, luckily. He was looking gloomily and curiously into the glades and vistas of the woods that were opening before us. You going to the ruins of Karnstein? That is a very lucky coincidence. Do you know, I was going to ask you to bring me there to inspect them. I have a special object in exploring. There's a ruined chapel, ain't there, with a great many tombs of that extinct family? So there are. Highly interesting. I hope you were thinking of claiming the title and estates. My father said this gaily, but the general did not recollect the laugh, or even the smile which courtesy exacts for a friend's joke. On the contrary, he looked grave and even fierce, ruminating on a matter that stirred his anger and horror. Something very different. Hiccup? I mean to unearth some of those fine people. I hope, by God's blessing, to accomplish a pious sacrilege here, which will relieve our earth of certain monsters and enable honest people to sleep in their beds without being assailed by murderers. I have strange things to tell you, my dear friend, such as I myself would have scouted as incredible a few months since. My father looked at him again, but this time not with a glance of suspicion, with an eye, rather, of keen intelligence and alarm. The house of Karnstein has been long extinct, 100 years at least. My dear wife was maternally descended from the Karnsteins. But the name and title have long ceased to exist. The castle is a ruin, the very village is deserted. It is 50 years since the smoke of a chimney was seen there, not a roof left. Quite true. I have heard a great deal about that since I last saw you. A great deal that will astonish you, but I had better relate everything in the order in which it occurred. You saw my dear ward, my child, I may call her. No creature could have been more beautiful, and only 3 months ago, none more blooming. Yes, poor thing. When I saw her last, she certainly was quite lovely. I was grieved and shocked more than I can tell you, my dear friend. I knew what a blow it was to you. He took the general's hand, and they exchanged a kind pressure. Tears gathered in the soldier's eyes. He did not seek to conceal them. We have been very old friends. I knew you would feel for me, childless as I am. She had become an object of very near interest to me, and repaid my care by an affection that cheered my home and made my life happy. That is all gone. The years that remain to me on earth may not be very long, but by God's mercy I hope to accomplish a service to mankind before I die, and to subserve the vengeance of heaven upon the fiends who have murdered my poor child and the spring of her hopes and beauty. You said just now that you intended relating everything as it occurred. Please do. I assure you that it is not mere curiosity that prompts me. Oh, hold on. Isn't this the point at which the Drunstall road by which you'd come diverges from the road which you are traveling to Karnstein? Yes, it is. How far is it to the ruins? About half a league. Pray let us hear the story you were so good as to promise. With all my heart. He spoke with clear effort, and after a short pause, in which he seemed to arrange his subject, he commenced one of the strangest narratives I ever heard. My dear child was looking forward with great pleasure to the visit you had been so good as to arrange for her to your charming daughter. In the meantime, we had an invitation to my old friend the Count Carlsfeld, whose schloss is about 6 leagues to the other side of Karnstein. It was to attend a series of fetes which, you remember, were given by him in honor of his illustrious visitor, the Grand Duke Charles. Yes, and very splendid I believe they were. Princely. The hospitalities were quite regal. He has Aladdin's lamp. The night from which my sorrow dates was devoted to a magnificent masquerade. The grounds were thrown open, the trees hung with colored lamps. There was such a display of fireworks as Paris itself had never witnessed. And such music. Music, you know, is my weakness. Such ravishing music. The finest instrumental band, perhaps, in the world, and the finest singers who could be collected from all the great operas in Europe. As you wandered through these fantastically illuminated grounds, the moonlighted chateau throwing a rosy light from its long rows of windows, you would suddenly hear these ravishing voices stealing from the silence of some grove, or rising from boats upon the lake. As I looked and listened, I felt myself carried back into the romance and poetry of my early youth. A masked ball, you know, is a beautiful sight, but so brilliant a spectacle of the kind I never saw before. It was a very aristocratic assembly. I was myself almost the only nobody present. My dear child was looking quite beautiful. She wore no mask. Her excitement and delight added an unspeakable charm to her features, always lovely. I remarked a young lady dressed magnificently, but wearing a mask, who appeared to me to be observing my ward with extraordinary interest. I had seen her earlier in the evening in the great hall, and again for a few minutes, walking near us on the terrace under the castle windows, similarly employed. A lady, also masked, richly and gravely dressed, and with a stately air, like a person of rank, accompanied her as a chaperone. Had the young lady not worn a mask, I could of course have been much more certain upon the question whether she was really watching my poor darling. I am now well assured that she was. We were now in one of the salons. My poor dear child had been dancing, and was resting a little in one of the chairs near the door. I was standing near. The 2 ladies I had mentioned had approached, and the younger took the chair next to my ward, while her companion stood beside me, and for a little time addressed herself in a low tone to her charge. Availing herself of the privilege of her mask, she turned to me, and in the tone of an old friend, opened a conversation with me, which piqued my curiosity a good deal. She referred to many scenes where she had met me, at court and at distinguished houses. She alluded to little incidents which had long ceased to think of, but which, I found, had only lain in abeyance in my memory, for they instantly started into life at her touch. Every moment I became more and more curious to ascertain who she was. She parried my attempts to discover very adroitly and pleasantly. The knowledge she showed of many passages in my life seemed to me all but unaccountable, and she appeared to take a not unnatural pleasure in foiling my curiosity, and in seeing me flounder in my eager perplexity from one conjecture to another. In the meantime, the young lady, whom her mother called by the odd name of Millarca, when she once or twice addressed her, had, with the same ease and grace, got into conversation with my ward. She introduced herself by saying that her mother was a very old acquaintance of mine. She spoke of the agreeable audacity which a mask rendered practicable. She talked like a friend. She admired her dress and insinuated very prettily her admiration of her beauty. She amused her with laughing criticisms upon the people who crowded the ballroom and laughed at my poor child's fun. She was very witty and lively when she pleased, and after a time they had grown very good friends, and the young stranger lowered her mask, displaying a remarkably beautiful face. I had never seen it before, neither had my dear child, but though it was new to us, the features were so engaging as well as lovely that it was impossible not to feel the attraction powerfully. My poor girl did so. I never saw anyone more taken with another at first sight, unless indeed it was the stranger herself who seemed quite to have lost her heart to her. In the meantime, availing myself of the license of a masquerade, I put not a few questions to the elder lady. You have puzzled me utterly. Is that not enough? Won't you now consent to stand on equal terms and do me the kindness to remove your mask? Can any request be more unreasonable? Ask a lady to yield an advantage. Besides, how do you know you should recognize me? Years make changes. As you see. As philosophers tell us, and how do you know that a sight of my face would help you? I should take chance for that. It is vain trying to make yourself out an old woman. Your figure betrays you. Years, nevertheless, have passed since I saw you, or rather since you saw me, for that is what I am considering. Millarca there is my daughter. I cannot then be young, even in the opinion of people whom time has taught to be indulgent. And I may not like to be compared with what you remember me. You have no mask to remove. You can offer me nothing in exchange. My petition is to your pity to remove it, and mine to yours to let it stay where it is. Well, then at least you will tell me whether you are French or German. You speak both languages so perfectly. I don't think I should tell you that, General. You intend a surprise, and are meditating the particular point of attack. At all events, you won't deny this, that being honored by your permission to converse, I ought to know how to address you. Shall I say, Madame la Comtesse? She laughed, and she would no doubt have met me with another evasion. That is if indeed I can treat any occurrence in an interview every circumstance of which was prearranged, as I now believe with the profoundest cunning, as liable to be modified by accident. As to that... She was interrupted, almost as she opened her lips, by a gentleman dressed in black, who looked particularly elegant and distinguished, with his drawback that his face was the most deadly pale I ever saw except in death. He was in no masquerade, in the plain evening dress of a gentleman, and he said without a smile, but with a courtly and unusually low bow, "Will Madame la Comtesse permit me to say a very few words which may interest her?" The lady turned quickly to him and touched her lip in token of silence. She then walked a little aside with the gentleman in black and talked for some minutes, apparently very earnestly. They then walked away slowly together in the crowd, and I lost them for some minutes. I spent the interval in cudgeling my brains for conjecture as to the identity of the lady who remembered me so kindly. I was thinking of turning about and joining in the conversation between my pretty ward and the Countess's daughter. Perhaps by the time she returned I might have a surprise in store for her by having her name, title, chateau, and estates at my fingers' ends. But at this moment she returned, accompanied by the pale man in black. I shall return and inform Madame la Comtesse when her carriage is at the door. He withdrew with a bow. Then we are to lose Madame la Comtesse, but I hope only for a few hours. It may be that only, or it may be a few weeks. It was very unlucky his speaking to me just now as he did. Do you now know me? I assure you I do not. You shall know me, but not at present. We are older and better friends than perhaps you suspect. I cannot yet declare myself. I shall in 3 weeks pass your beautiful Schloss, about which I have been making inquiries. I shall then look in upon you for an hour or two, and renew a friendship which I never think of without 1,000 pleasant recollections. This moment a piece of news has reached me like a thunderbolt. I must set out now, and travel by a devious route, nearly 100 miles, with all the dispatch I can possibly make. My perplexities multiply. I am only deterred by the compulsory reserve I practice as to my name from making a very singular request of you. My poor child has not quite recovered her strength. Her horse fell with her at a hunt which she had ridden out to witness. Her nerves had not yet recovered the shock, and her physician says that she must on no account exert herself for some time to come. We came here in consequence by very easy stages, hardly 6 leagues a day. I must now travel day and night on a mission of life and death, a mission the critical and momentous nature of which I shall be able to explain to you when we meet, as I hope we shall, in a few weeks without the necessity of any concealment. She went on to make her petition, and it was in the tone of a person from whom such a request amounted to conferring rather than seeking a favor. This was only in manner, as it seemed quite unconsciously. Then the terms in which it was expressed, nothing could be more deprecatory. It was simply that I would consent to take charge of her daughter during her absence. This was, all things considered, a strange, not to say an audacious, request. She in some sort disarmed me by stating and admitting everything that could be urged against it and throwing herself entirely upon my chivalry. At the same moment, by a fatality that seems to have predetermined all that happened, my poor child came to my side and, in an undertone, besought me to invite her new friend Millarca to pay us a visit. She had just been sounding her and thought, if her mamma would allow her, she would like it extremely. At another time I should have told her to wait a little until at least we knew who they were, but I had not a moment to think in. The two ladies assailed me together, and I must confess the refined and beautiful face of the young lady, about which there was something extremely engaging, as well as the elegance and fire of high birth, determined me. Quite overpowered, I submitted and undertook too easily the care of the young lady, whom her mother called Millarca. The Countess beckoned to her daughter, who listened with grave attention while she told her in general terms how suddenly and peremptorily she had been summoned, and also the arrangement she had made for her under my care, adding that I was one of the earliest and most valuable. I made, of course, such speeches as the case seemed to call for, and found myself on reflection in a position which I did not half like. The gentleman in black returned and very ceremoniously conducted the lady from the room. The demeanor of this gentleman was such as to impress me with the conviction that the Countess was a lady of very much more importance than her modest title alone might have led me to assume. Her last charge to me was that no attempt was to be made to learn more about her than I might have already guessed, until her return. Our distinguished host, whose guest she was, knew her reasons. But here, neither I nor my daughter could safely remain for more than a day. I removed my mask imprudently for a moment, about an hour ago, and too late I fancied you saw me. So I resolved to seek an opportunity of talking a little to you. Had I found that you had seen me, I would have thrown myself on your high sense of honor to keep my secret some weeks. As it is, I am satisfied that you did not see me, but if you now suspect, or on reflection should suspect who I am, I commit myself in like manner entirely to your honor. My daughter will observe the same secrecy, and I well know that you will from time to time remind her, lest she should thoughtlessly disclose it. She whispered a few words to her daughter, kissed her hurriedly twice, and went away, accompanied by the pale gentleman in black, disappearing in the crowd. Millarca proclaimed that she shall like to see the last of her mamma, and wished to kiss her hand to her. She promptly disappeared into the next room, which had a window overseeing the castle entrance. We assented, of course, and accompanied her to the window. We looked out and saw a handsome old-fashioned carriage with a troop of couriers and footmen. We saw the slim figure of the pale gentleman in black, as he held a thick velvet cloak and placed it about her shoulders and threw the hood over her head. She nodded to him and just touched his hand with hers. He bowed low repeatedly as the door closed and the carriage began to move. "She is gone," said Millarca with a sigh. "She is gone," I repeated to myself for the first time, in the hurried moments that had elapsed since my consent, reflecting upon the folly of my act. "She did not look up," said the young lady plaintively. The Countess had taken off her mask, perhaps, and did not care to show her face, and she could not know that you were in the window.
Sippy, sippy.
She sighed and looked in my face. She was so beautiful that I relented. I was sorry I had for a moment repented of my hospitality, and I determined to make her amends for the unavowed churlishness of my reception. The young lady, replacing her mask, joined my ward in persuading me to return to the grounds, where the concert was soon to be renewed. We did so, and walked up and down the terrace that lies under the castle windows. Millarca became very intimate with us, and amused us with lively descriptions and stories of most of the great people whom we saw upon the terrace. I liked her more and more every minute. Her gossip, without being ill-natured, was extremely diverting to me, who had been so long out of the great world. The life she would give to our sometimes lonely evenings at home. This ball was not over until the morning sun had almost reached the horizon. It pleased the Grand Duke to dance till then, so loyal people could not go away or think of bed. We had just got through a crowded saloon when my ward asked me what had become of Millarca. I thought she had been by her side, and she fancied she was by mine. The fact was, we had lost her. All my efforts to find her were in vain. I feared that she had mistaken, in the confusion of a momentary separation from us, other people for her new friends, and had possibly pursued and lost them in the extensive grounds which were thrown open to us. Now, in its full force, I recognized a new folly in my having undertaken the charge of a young lady without so much as knowing her name, and fettered as I was by promises of the reasons for imposing which I knew nothing, I could not even point my inquiries by saying that the missing young lady was the daughter of the Countess who had taken her departure a few hours before. Morning broke. It was clear daylight before I gave up my search. It was not till near 2 o'clock next day that we heard anything of my missing charge. At about that time a servant knocked at my niece's door to say that he had been earnestly requested by a young lady, who appeared to be in great distress, to make out where she could find the General Baron Spielsdorf and the young lady, his daughter, in whose charge she had been left by her mother. There could be no doubt, notwithstanding the slight inaccuracy, that our young friend had turned up, and so she had. Would to heaven we had lost her. She told my poor child a story to account for her having failed to recover us for so long. Very late, she said, she had got to the housekeeper's bedroom in despair of finding us, and had then fallen into a deep sleep which, long as it was, had hardly sufficed to recruit her strength after the fatigues of the ball. That day Millarca came home with us. I was only too happy, after all, to have secured so charming a companion for my dear girl. There soon, however, appeared some drawbacks. In the first place, Millarca complained of extreme languor, the weakness that remained after her late illness, and she had never emerged from her room till the afternoon was pretty far advanced. In the next place, it was accidentally discovered, although she always locked her door on the inside and never disturbed the key from its place till she admitted the maid to assist her at her toilet, that she was undoubtedly sometimes absent from her room in the very early morning, and at various times later in the day, before she wished it to be understood that she was stirring. She was repeatedly seen from the windows of the Schloss, in the very faint grey of the morning, walking through the trees in an easterly direction, and looking like a person in a trance. This convinced me that she walked in her sleep. But this hypothesis did not solve the puzzle. How did she pass from her room, leaving the door locked on the inside? How did she escape from the house without unbarring door or window? In the midst of my perplexities, an anxiety of a far more urgent kind presented itself. My dear child began to lose her looks and health, and that in a manner so mysterious and even horrible that I became thoroughly frightened. She was at first visited by appalling dreams, then, as she fancied, by a spectre, sometimes resembling Millarca, sometimes in the shape of a beast indistinctly seen, walking around the foot of her bed from side to side. Lastly came sensations. One, not unpleasant, but very peculiar, as she said, resembled the flow of an icy stream against her breast. At a later time she felt something like a pair of large needles pierce her a little below the throat with a very sharp pain. A few nights after followed a gradual and convulsive sense of strength. Then came unconsciousness. Chapter 5. Discovery. The road leading to the village, roofless for more than half a century, was covered in grass upon which we were now driving. I could therefore hear distinctly every word the General was saying. You may guess how strangely I felt as I heard my own symptoms so exactly described in those which had been experienced by the poor girl who, but for the catastrophe which followed, would have been at that moment a visitor at my father's chateau. You may suppose, also, how I felt as I heard him detail habits and mysterious peculiarities which were in fact those of our beautiful guest, Carmilla. A vista opened in the forest. We were on a sudden under the chimneys and gables of the ruined village. The towers and battlements of the dismantled castle, round which gigantic trees are grouped, overhung us from a slight eminence. In a frightened dream I got down from the carriage, and in silence, for we had each abundant matter for thinking. We soon mounted the ascent, and were among the spacious chambers, winding stairs, and dark corridors of the castle. And this was once the palatial residence of the Karnsteins. It was a bad family, and here its blood-stained annals were written. It is hard that they should, after death, continue to plague the human race with their atrocious lusts. That is the chapel of the Karnsteins down there. And I hear the axe of a woodman busy among the trees that surround it. He possibly may give us the information of which I am in search, and point out the grave of Mikala, Countess of Karnstein. These rustics preserve the local traditions of great families whose stories die out among the rich and titled so soon as the families themselves become extinct. We have a portrait at home of Mikala, the Countess Karnstein. Should you like to see it? Time enough, dear friend. I believe that I have seen the original. Besides, one motive which has led me to you earlier than I had first intended was to explore the chapel which we are now approaching. What? See the Countess Mikala? Why, she has been dead more than a century. Not so dead as you fancy, I am told. I confess, General, you puzzle me utterly. Looking at my father, I fancied for a moment a return of the suspicion I detected before. But although there was anger and detestation at times in the General's manner, there was nothing flighty. There remains to me but one object which can interest me during the few years that remain to me on earth, and that is to wreak on her the vengeance which I thank God may still be accomplished by a mortal arm. What vengeance can you mean? I mean to decapitate the monster. He spoke with a fierce flush and a stamp that echoed mournfully through the hollow ruin. His clenched hand was at the same moment raised, as if it grasped the handle of an axe, while he shook it ferociously in the air. What? To strike her head off. Cut her head off? With a spade or with anything that can cleave through her murderous throat. You shall hear. That beam will answer for a seat. Your dear child is fatigued. Let her be seated, and I will in a few sentences close my dreadful story. The squared block of wood which lay on the grass-grown pavement of the chapel formed a bench on which I was very glad to seat myself. In the meantime the General called to the woodman, who had been removing some boughs which leaned upon the old walls, and, axe in hand, the hardy fellow stood before us. He could not tell us anything about these monuments, but there was an old man, he said, a ranger of this forest, at present sojourning the house of the priest about 2 miles away. He could point out every monument of the old Karnstein family, and for a trifle he undertook to bring him back with him, if we would lend him one of our horses in little more than half an hour. Have you been long employed about this forest? I have been a woodman here under the forester all my days, so has my father before me, and so on, as many generations as I can count up. I could show you the very house in the village here in which my ancestors lived. How came the village to be deserted? It was troubled by revenants, sir. Several were tracked by their graves, and they're detected by the usual tests. They were extinguished in the usual way, by decapitation, by the stake, by the burning, but not until many of the villagers were killed. But after all these proceedings according to law, so many graves opened, and so many vampires deprived of their horrible animation, the village was not relieved. At least not until a Moravian nobleman, who happened to be traveling this way, heard how matters were. Since he was skilled, as many people are in this country, in such affairs, he offered to deliver the village from its tormentor. He did so thus. This Moravian nobleman had authority from the then head of the family to remove the tomb of Mikala, Countess Karnstein. Remove the tomb. I can read, I promise. He did so effectually, so that in a little while its site was quite forgotten. Can you point out where it stood? Not a soul living could tell you that now. Besides, they say her body was removed, but no one is sure of that either. Having thus spoken, as time pressed, he dropped his axe and departed, leaving us to hear the remainder of the general's strange story. My beloved child was now growing rapidly worse. The physician who attended her had failed to produce the slightest impression on her disease, for such I then supposed it to be. He saw my alarm and suggested a consultation. I called in an abler physician from Graz. Several days elapsed before he arrived. He was a good and pious as well as a learned man. Having seen my poor ward together, they withdrew to my library to confer and discuss. The adjoining room, where I awaited their summons, heard these two gentlemen's voices raised in something sharper than a strictly philosophical discussion. I knocked at the door and entered. I found the old physician from Graz maintaining his theory. His rival was combating it with undisguised ridicule, accompanied with bursts of laughter. This unseemly manifestation subsided, and the altercation ended on my entrance. "Sir," said the first physician, "my learned brother seems to think that you want a conjurer and not a doctor." "Pardon me," said the old physician from Graz, looking displeased. "I shall state my own view of the case in my own way another time. I agree, Monsieur le General, that by my skill in science I can be of no use. Before I go, I shall do myself the honor to suggest something to you." He seemed thoughtful as he sat down at a table and began to write. Profoundly disappointed, I made my bow, and as I turned to go, the other doctor pointed over his shoulder to his companion who was writing, and then with a shrug significantly touched his forehead. This consultation, then, left me precisely where I was. I walked out into the grounds, all but distracted. The doctor from Graz, in 10 or 15 minutes, overtook me. He apologized for having followed me, but said that he could not conscientiously take his leave without a few words more. He told me that he could not be mistaken. No natural disease exhibited the same symptoms, and that death was already very near. There remained, however, a day, or possibly 2, of life. If the fatal seizure were at once arrested with great care and skill, her strength might possibly return, but all hung now upon the confines of the irrevocable. One more assault might extinguish the last spark of vitality which is every moment ready to die. "And what is the nature of the seizure you speak of?" I entreated. "I have stated all fully in this note which I place in your hands, upon the distinct condition that you send for the nearest clergyman and open my letter in his presence, and on no account read it until he is with you. You would despise it else, and it is a matter of life and death. Should the priest fail you, then indeed you may read it. He asked me, before taking his leave finally, whether I would wish to see a man curiously learned upon the very subject, which, after I read his letter, would probably interest me above all others, and he urged me earnestly to invite him to visit him there, and so took his leave. The ecclesiastic was absent, and I read the letter by myself. At another time, or in another case, it might have excited my ridicule, but into what quackeries will not people rush for a last chance, where all accustomed means have failed and the life of a beloved object is at stake? Nothing, you will say, than the learned man's letter. It was monstrous enough to have consigned him to a madhouse. He said that the patient was suffering from the visits of a vampire. The punctures which she described as having occurred near the throat were, he insisted, the insertion of those two long, thin, and sharp teeth which it is well known are peculiar to vampires. And there could be no doubt, he added, as to the well-defined presence of the small livid mark which all concurred in describing as that induced by the demon's lips, and every symptom described by the sufferer was in exact conformity with those recorded in every case of a similar visitation. Being myself wholly skeptical as to the existence of any such portent as the vampire, the supernatural theory of the good doctor furnished, in my opinion, but another instance of learning and intelligence oddly associated with some one hallucination. I was so miserable, however, that rather than try nothing, I acted upon the instructions of the letter. I concealed myself in the dark dressing-room that opened upon the poor patient's room, in which a candle was burning, and watched there till she was fast asleep. I stood at the door, peeping through the small crevice, my sword laid on the table beside me, as my directions prescribed, until, a little after 1, I saw a large black object, very ill-defined, crawl, as it seemed to me, over the foot of the bed, and swiftly spread itself up to the poor girl's throat, where it swelled, in a moment, into a great palpitating mass. After a few moments I had stood petrified. I now sprang forward with my sword in hand. The black creature suddenly contracted towards the foot of the bed, glided over it, and there, standing at the floor about a yard below the foot of the bed, with a glare of skulking ferocity and horror fixed on me, I saw Millarca. Speculating I know not what, I struck at her instantly with my sword, but I saw her standing near the door unscathed. Horrified, I pursued and struck again. She was gone, and my sword flew to shivers against the door. I can't describe to you all that passed on that horrible night. The whole house was up and stirring. The spectre Millarca was gone, but her victim was sinking fast, and before the morning dawned, she died.
The general was agitated. We did not speak to him. My father walked to some little distance and began reading the inscriptions on the tombstones. Thus occupied, he strolled into the door of a side chapel to prosecute his researches. The general leaned against the wall, dried his eyes, and sighed heavily. I was relieved on hearing the voices of Carmilla and Madame, who were at that moment approaching. But then the voices seemed to die away. In this solitude, having just listened to so strange a story, every incident of which bore so awfully upon my own mysterious case, the monuments were mouldering among the dust and ivy round us. In this haunted spot, darkened by the towering foliage that rose on every side, dense and high above its noiseless walls, a horror began to steal over me. My heart sank as I thought that my friends were, after all, not about to enter and disturb this triste and ominous scene. The general's eyes were fixed on the ground as he leaned with his hand upon the basement of a shattered monument. Under a narrow, arched doorway, surmounted by one of those demoniacal grotesques of old Gothic carving delights, I saw very gladly the beautiful face and figure of Carmilla enter the shadowy chapel. I was just about to rise and speak, and nodded smiling in answer to her peculiarly engaging smile. Oh, shit. when with a cry the old man by my side caught up the woodman's hatchet and started forward. On seeing him, a brutalized change came over her features. It was an instantaneous and horrible transformation as she made a crouching step backwards. Before I could utter a scream, he struck at her with all his force, but she dived under his blow unscathed. He struggled for a moment to regain his balance. The axe fell to the ground. The girl was gone. He staggered against the wall. His gray hair stood upon his head, and a moisture shone over his face, as if he were at the point of death. The frightful scene had passed in a moment. The first thing I recollect after it is Madame standing before me and impatiently repeating again and again the question, "Where is Mademoiselle Carmilla?" "I don't know. I can't tell. She went towards you only a minute or two since." "But I have been standing there in the passage ever since Mademoiselle Carmilla entered, and she did not return." She then began to call Carmilla through every door and passage and from the windows, but no answer came. "She called herself Carmilla?" "Carmilla, yes." "Aye, that is Millarca. That is the same person who long ago was called Mikala, Countess Karnstein. Depart from this accursed ground, my poor child, as quickly as you can. Drive to the clergyman's house and stay there till we come. Begone! May you never behold Carmilla more. You will not find her here." As he spoke, one of the strangest-looking men I ever beheld entered the chapel at the door through which Carmilla had made her entrance and her exit. He was tall, narrow-chested, stooping, with high shoulders, and dressed in black. His face was brown and dried in with deep furrows, and he wore an oddly shaped hat with a broad leaf. His hair, long and grizzled, hung on his shoulders. He wore a pair of gold spectacles and walked slowly with an odd, shambling gait. His face, sometimes turned up to the sky and sometimes bowed down towards the ground, seemed to wear a perpetual smile. His long, thin arms were swinging, and his lank hands in odd black gloves ever so much too wide for them, waving in utter abstraction. "The very man! My dear Baron, how happy I am to see you. I had no hope of meeting you so soon." He signed to my father, who had by this time returned, and leading the fantastical gentleman whom he called the Baron to meet him. He introduced him formally, and they at once entered into earnest conversation. Hiccup! The stranger took a roll of paper from his pocket and spread it on the worn surface of a tomb that stood by. He had a pencil case in his fingers, with which he traced imaginary lines from point to point on the paper. From their often glancing from it at certain points of the building, I concluded it to be a plan of the chapel. He accompanied what I may term his lecture with occasional readings from a dirty little book, whose yellow leaves were closely written over. They sauntered together down the side aisle opposite to the spot where I was standing, conversing as they went. Then they began measuring distances by paces, and finally they all stood together facing a piece of the side wall, which they began to examine with great minuteness, pulling off the ivy that clung over it and rapping the plaster with the ends of their sticks, scraping here and knocking there. At length they ascertained the existence of a broad marble tablet with letters carved in relief upon it. With the assistance of the woodman, who soon returned, a monumental inscription and carved escutcheon were disclosed. Escutcheon? They proved to be those of the long-lost monument of Mircalla, Countess Karnstein. The general, though not, I fear, given to the praying mood, raised his hands and eyes to heaven in mute thanksgiving for some moments. "Tomorrow the commissioner will be here, and the Inquisition will be held according to law. Baron, how can I thank you? How can we all thank you? You will have delivered this region from a plague that has scourged its inhabitants for more than a century. The horrible enemy, thank God, is at last tracked." My father led the stranger aside, and the general followed. I know that he had led them out of hearing, that he might relate my case, and I saw them glance often quickly at me as the discussion proceeded. My father came to me, kissing me again and again while leading us away from the chapel. It is time to return, but before we go home, we must add to our party the good priest who lives nearby and persuade him to accompany us to the Schloss. In this quest we were successful, and I was glad, being unspeakably fatigued when we reached home. But my satisfaction was changed to dismay on discovering that there were no tidings of Carmilla. At the scene that had occurred in the ruined chapel, no explanation was offered to me, and it was clear that it was a secret which my father, for the present, determined to keep from me. The sinister absence of Carmilla made the remembrance of the scene all the more horrible to me. The arrangements for the night were singular. 2 servants and Madame were to sit up in my room that night, while the ecclesiastic with my father kept watch in the adjoining dressing room. The priest had performed certain solemn rites that night, the purport of which I did not understand any more than I comprehended the reason of this extraordinary precaution taken for my safety during sleep. I saw all clearly a few days later. The disappearance of Carmilla was followed by the discontinuance of my nightly sufferings. You have heard, no doubt, of the appalling superstition that prevails in Upper and Lower Styria, in Moravia, Silesia, in Poland, even in Russia. The superstition, so we must call it, of the vampire. If human testimony, taken with every care and solemnity, judicially, before commissions innumerable, each consisting of many members, all chosen for integrity and intelligence, and constituting reports more voluminous, perhaps, than exist upon any one other class of cases, is worth anything, then it is difficult to deny or even to doubt the existence of such a phenomenon as the vampire. For my part, I have heard no theory by which to explain what I myself have witnessed and experienced other than that supplied by the ancient and well-attested belief of the country. The next day, the formal proceedings took place in the chapel of Karnstein. The grave of the Countess Mircalla was opened, and the general and my father recognized each his perfidious and beautiful guest in the face now disclosed to view. The features, though 150 years had passed since her funeral, were tinted with the warmth of life. Her eyes were open, no cadaverous smell exhaled from the coffin. The 2 medical men, one officially present, the other on the part of the promoter of the inquiry, attested the marvelous fact that there was a faint but appreciable respiration and a corresponding action of the heart. The limbs were perfectly flexible, the flesh elastic, and the leaden coffin floated with blood in which, to a depth of 7 inches, the body lay immersed. Here, then, were all the admitted signs and proofs of vampirism. The body, therefore, in accordance with the ancient practice, was raised, and a sharp stake driven through the heart of the vampire, who uttered a piercing shriek at the moment, in all respects such as might escape from a living person in the last agony. Then the head was struck off, and a torrent of blood flowed from the severed neck. The body and head were placed next on a pile of wood and reduced to ashes, which were thrown upon the river and borne away, and that territory has never since been plagued by the visits of a vampire. My father has a copy of the report of the Imperial Commission, with the signatures of all who were present at the proceedings, attached in verification of the statement. We're getting a bit of lag. It is from this official paper that I've summarized my account of this last shocking scene. Nothing but your earnest desire, so repeatedly expressed, could have induced me to sit down to a task that has unstrung my nerves for months to come. It reinduced a shadow of the unspeakable horror which years after my deliverance continued to make my days and nights dreadful, solitude insupportably terrible. The following spring, my father took me on a tour through Italy. We remained away for more than a year. It was long before the terror of recent events subsided, and to this hour the image of Carmilla returns to memory with ambiguous alternations. Sometimes the playful, languid, beautiful girl. Sometimes the writhing fiend I saw for a short moment in the ruined church. And often from a reverie I have started, fancying I heard the light step of Carmilla at the drawing-room door. Finn. Whew! I guess that's Carmilla. That was... I mean, I didn't expect a happy ending, I'll say that much. Like, given the time period the story was originally written, like, couldn't have fathomed. And, like, I heard ahead of time that, like, Carmilla was, for all intents and purposes, written as a villain, as an antagonist. Which, yeah, my little lesbian soul, laments it a little bit, but for all its other qualities, what do I think? I definitely find it interesting. I can say I'm glad I went through this. I went through this visual novel. An adaptation as it is. I will admit, it does really take a toll on the throat if you choose to narrate it. So many obtuse words. Again, a product of its time. It's one thing I kind of tend to... struggle with in regards to, like, literary or storytelling analysis. I can never fully internalize something until well after the fact. So, like, I can't really determine how much I liked it or, like, even articulate exactly what I liked or even disliked in this moment. And it's something I can seldom really do unless, like, all the tropes and devices and plot and stuff were, like, already catered so well to my tastes. Thank you, baby, for the hydrate. Honestly, there was a part of me that was thinking, like, I must be getting so close to the end of this story. And so I was thinking, trying to plan ahead of time, like, what I would do if, like, the story ended prematurely. In which case it kind of did, but, it was still, like, a solid hour or so. I'm not really sure if I want to end it just yet. What to do? I suppose for now, I'll switch over to the main screen and
close the game. Yeah, I think the most I can say at this moment is that I am glad that I went through it. I'm glad I experienced it. I'm sure, like, it's a cult classic for a reason. This, if anything, this just kind of motivates me to find other adaptations of the same story. You know, whether it's like urban fantasy, TV show, or web show, I think. Because I know a web show does exist. It's out there somewhere. And I want to wonder, like, exactly how much from the source material it uses as well as deviates from. As far as like a classic gothic vampire story, as far as like the plot beats, story beats, like it was virtually tit for tat, you know, of your traditional vampire story. Everything else, though, again, I need time to internalize and process it. So how do I follow up on Carmilla? What should I do? I've got plenty of other indie games at my disposal. Many of which are also visual novels. Let me think. Here's an idea. Since Carmilla was a sapphic story with a tragic ending, at least I would consider, why don't we find something similarly gay with probably a better, like more clearly, like positive tone. And the question, again, is what will it be? Goodness grievance. I'm plagued with indecision. That's the wrong window. My window is open, or at the very least it's open enough that like I can see outside, and the sun is shining right in my face. You know, I'm feeling sort of drawn to this little game that I got called Tunnel Vision. And I'm pretty sure that one is gay. I've been told. I think when I last checked up on its itch page, its itch.io page, I think it branded itself as a visual novel, maybe, sort of. Maybe it has a few extra quirks. And at this point, I will change the category. And just modify this. Get it into, no. Getting tunnel vision. Okay, all the tags are still there. Alright. So, switch back to game screen, get rid of the Carmilla asset or source, and we'll open up Tunnel Vision. See how this goes. The sun. The sun! It burns! God, am I a vampire? Let's see now. As a matter of fact, I'm just gonna... I'll keep it open to, like, let some cool air flow in, but I think I'll close the curtain I have over my window. I'll just be a sec. That's a little better. Okay. Alright, add window capture. Tunnel vision. Yeah, this looks cute. Make sure it's locked in. Drag it down. And we're in business. Okay. So this is tunnel vision. I know virtually nothing about it other than I see girls, I see a ghost, and I see a cave. So let's... Have I checked preferences? Let's see, no, everything looks to be in order. Let's get started. How did I end up in this situation? If I were a ghost, I would be this way. Come on. I'm alone in a dark place with the girl in my dreams. How did this happen? Ah, right. It went like... Oh, that's gay. That's really gay already. Hey Maggie, you like taking pictures, right? Have you ever taken a picture of a ghost? Even on accident? Ghosts? Oh. Thank you, Aerostar, for following and becoming a Lily Pal. No, I don't think so. I only ever take pictures of you. Do you want to? What? Find a ghost to catch on film. Oh, that could be fun too. Remember that haunted cave from when we were kids? We should go. Together? You've got the camera and I've got the ghost hunting, cave exploring know-how. Hunting, cave exploring know-how. We'll make a great team. How about it? Alone with Lottie? Sure. It's a date. I can't believe it finally happened. We're on a date. Even though the atmosphere is not romantic at all. Can you feel it? What? The temperature dropped just slightly. Which means a ghost is nearby. Is the camera ready? Uh-huh. I've been recording you this whole time. You're supposed to point it at ghosts. Try over that way. Okay. Ah! Are you hurt? Hey, say something. I'm fine. No need to worry. I'll climb back up. Okay, never mind. I think I sprained my ankle. Hold on, Maggie. I'll come save you. Wait. As much as I love the idea of that, you can't just jump down here. If you fall and hurt yourself, we'll both be stuck. Well, actually, that might not be so bad. On second thought, you'll be fine, so just jump. Magnolia, no. Gay rights. No, you're right. I'll find another way. Can you see any kind of passage down there? I might be able to get to you that way. Yeah, I can see a few from here, but don't go through all that trouble. Just use me to break your fall instead. Don't worry, it's no trouble at all. I have an excellent sense of direction, so wait right there. I'll find a way down. Wait, don't leave me! I won't be... I would have caught you. My ankle hurts. But the deeper. Why did you leave me, Lottie? Dola... Ah! Ghost! Oh, wait, this is perfect! Great! Now just stay right there, Ghosty. Ah! Don't curse me! Or haunt me! Or possess me! Whatever it is ghosts usually do! You're not gonna do anything? Who? Who? You! Aren't ghosts supposed to do something creepy then disappear right after? No. Who? Me? My name is Magnolia. I came here with my very lovely and beautiful friend to look for ghosts. You're a ghost, right? I'm not hallucinating or anything? When you're all quiet like that, it makes it kind of hard to have a conversation. It has been centuries. Oh, there's no one for you to talk to down here, is there? Correct. Sorry. Well, I'll talk to you if you want. Just until my lovely Lottie comes to rescue me. Assume. Is that your name? Yes. Well, it's nice to meet you, Asun. I never thought I'd meet a ghost, but you don't seem scary or anything, so I guess this is pretty cool. So, what do you want to talk about? Right. Maybe it'd be better if I just blab for a while. Please. Alright then. I don't know if you saw my friend earlier, but she's the one who invited me on this little expedition. She's such a babe. She was like, "Oh, Magnolia, would you like to go out on a date with me?" And I was like, "Yes, of course, I'd follow you to the ends of the earth." And so we came here because she wanted to find a ghost and capture it on film. She's really into ghosts, you know. Isn't that so cute? She has a lot of charm points. Her perfect hair, her gorgeous smile, the way her eyes sparkle when she looks at you, her gentle yet lively expression. Attitude. It's like she could take on anything. She's unbeatable. No one in the world is more perfect. Anyway, I got distracted by her beauty. I ended up falling down here. You probably saw that part, huh? Yes. Man, that's embarrassing. And I can't help it, you know? It's like I look at her and everything else just kind of fades away. I'm really happy that she brought me here, even if I don't make it out of this alive. Then I'd be just like you. Sorry, that was a bad joke. Whoa, you smiled. I guess ghosts have a sense of humor after all. Tell me more. Really? You want me to keep talking? People usually tell me to shut up by now. I do not fully understand your words. You speak them with such passion. It is nice. Well, alright. Thanks, I guess. To be honest, I'm actually a little worried. Like, what if my poor Lottie gets lost or hurt trying to get to me? I can't bear the thought of that. You sound close. Well, not exactly. I've known her since we were little, but we don't really hang out or anything, you know? She's always surrounded by all her friends. I can't even get near her. Makes sense though, right? She's really charismatic. Ah! I need to take my girl pills. It's okay though. It just makes the times I do get to talk to her that much more special. I'm satisfied with just taking pictures anyway. What is pictures? Oh, with my camera, see? It's taking a video right now.
That means later I can watch the stuff it captured all over again. Gotta remember to edit out all that stuff I was saying earlier. Don't worry about it. Anyway, Lottie should be here any second now. I'm gonna quickly just, pill break. Wait. Is this against TOS? It's technically drugs. Shit. Fuck. What do I do? I'm putting flavor tablets in my lemonade water. That's right. Just delicious little smelly flavor packets. I can't just have lemonade on its own. I need something a little extra. If I can just taste it just this once, I would be a happy Froggy. Very happy Froggy, happy enough to last until the next day. Here they go. Yep, that's good old flavored lemonade water. All done. That was all I needed. Okay, let's continue. Time moves faster with words. You're worried. Well, yeah. Should I search for your friend? No! I'm sure she's fine. I trust her. I don't really want to be left alone either. I will stay. Thanks, Asum. Jeez, how long has it been? Maybe she went and made friends with a ghost too. Are there any other ghosts down here? I am alone. Right, that's kind of what I figured. Have you ever thought about leaving this cave? It's pretty dark and lonely down here. I am bound here. Oh, I'm sorry. Sometimes there are visitors. Do you talk to them too? No. They are afraid. They probably didn't expect to find a ghost. I was pretty surprised too. But I know you're not scary. It's just hard for you to start a conversation, right? You remind me of a friend. Really? In a good way, I hope. Yes. It is why I approached you. Because I look like your friend? The resemblance is striking. Is it someone from when you were, Yes. That means she's not around anymore, huh? Correct. I'm sorry. May I share my story? Yeah, of course. It's only fair, right? You listen to me babble on forever, so go right ahead. I will show you. What does this remind me of? Like the touch on the forehead and like telepathically transmit imagery.
What does it remind me of?
Probably a myriad of stuff.
She is late. Asun! I'm sorry! Tardiness is inexcusable, Tola, especially for a princess. As a representative of your kingdom, you should remember that. Yeah, but I'm not here as a representative of my kingdom. I'm here as your friend. I already said I'm sorry. I will forgive your indiscretion this once. Yay! Is your family well? Overbearing as always, but otherwise fine. It's almost like they're purposely making it harder for me to sneak away. I barely get to see you enough as it is. Each of us has responsibilities that outweigh our personal... I know. I hear that enough back home. I don't need you to lecture me as well. So how are things on your end? Father still insists on the arranged marriage. Tell him no. You're too good for my brother. He refuses to hear me. He wishes to unite our kingdoms at any cost. Are we really that close to war? So it seems. I don't understand it. What's the point in fighting over rocks? They are not mere rocks, Tola. The gems in this cavern are particularly valuable. Is it really so hard to share them? Why not just split the whole mountain down the middle? Greed is not so easily sated. There has to be some other way out of this. I've already thought of one. What? Really? You're so smart, Asun. What is it? What's the plan? I will marry you instead. Now you're just being silly. Princesses can't marry each other. Why not? It just isn't done. Father said about the same. I'm sorry, Asun. I wish the solution was as simple as that. I need to head back now. I'm sorry. I won't be late next time, okay? Is that a promise? Yeah, promise. Asun! Ignoring me, huh? Come on, it was only a few minutes this time. I know. I really am sorry. Please don't hate me, Asun. Very well. You are forgiven. Yay!
Princess? Princess Tola, are you here?
Soldiers! This way. Quickly.
I could have sworn I saw it. Princess Tola, this tunnel is off limits. If you're in there, I urge you to return to the castle at once. Where could she have run off to?
Looks like it's safe now. You were careless. Okay, yes, I slipped up, but only because I was trying so hard to be on time. It is dangerous to continue these meetings. I will speak with my father again. If I can put an end to our kingdom's foolishness through marriage, then... No! It's not worth it! Don't give up yet. I'm sure we can find another way. But this is the only solution that... Let's save it as a last resort! You don't have to make such a big decision all on your own. You've got me, remember? I'll figure something out, so just go back home for now, okay? Yes. Oh, Asun! You came. I thought we agreed it was too dangerous, but here we are. Things have gotten pretty heated back home. They were talking about mobilizing troops. It seems we are out of time. No, we can still... You don't think they'll really spill blood over rocks, will they? Neither side is willing to back down. Our only path left is... If I become the knot that binds our kingdoms, we will no longer be forced to meet in secret. It is a small sacrifice to make. You shouldn't have to sacrifice in the first place. It is my responsibility as a princess. My life is not my own to do with as I please. But it shouldn't have to be like that. I will return to my kingdom and finally put an end to this. We will see each other again soon. Asun, I promise. Alright.
It's a promise. We'll meet again soon. Before I could reach the entrance to my kingdom's side of the tunnel, soldiers rushed in, and I was forced to hide myself in a small crevice. It was not long before I could hear the clash of swords and various weaponry deep within the tunnel. I was too late. Worried for Tola's safety, I decided to return to where I had left her. But I never reached that point. The soldiers fighting angered the mountain, and the tunnel collapsed. If not for my selfishness, the lives of so many would have been spared. And that is the story of how I came to haunt these caverns. I had no idea. In the end, I could never confirm Tola's safety. If she had died because of me. Asun, it's okay. I think I know what happened. There's a story in my history book about a queen named Tola. She's pretty much responsible for like centuries of peace in this country. Queen? She never married, which made everyone super mad because it meant there was no one to like succeed the throne, so she just adopted a successor instead. I don't really remember all the details, but I remembered her name because she sounded like such a badass. I don't think this is just a coincidence. I see. She was unharmed. Yeah, isn't that great? I am overjoyed. Thank you for telling me this. I'm sorry that you had to wait so long to find out. I wish I could have told you sooner. I have enjoyed speaking with you. Wait, does this mean you're gonna disappear now? I am not quite ready. Huh? Don't you want to be with your friend on the other side? So much time has passed. I would not know how to face her. But I now see I was a fool, too fixated on events that did not come to pass. I could move on in peace. However, I am still attached to this world. Or should I say, someone here. Huh? Your friend has not yet arrived. Oh, that's right! I completely forgot! I will stay to wait with you. Thanks, Asun. I hope nothing bad happened. I am sure she is safe. Yeah, of course. But I wonder if she just gave up and went home. Then we'd kind of be waiting for nothing, huh? Why do you say this? I just think if I was her, I wouldn't really want to save me either. I'm kind of a creep, you know? She will come. How do you know? If I were in her position, I would definitely... Maggie! Ah! Lottie! I finally found you! I'm sorry for taking so long. This place is one big labyrinth. Anyway, I remember the way out, so let's just go home now. Lottie's hugging me. Is this a dream? This must be a dream. Wait, that's not important right now. I found it. What? Where'd she go? Asun, where are you? The ghost has a name? Asun, I thought you weren't going to disappear yet. Lottie still has to see you. There! There she is! I guess she's just being shy? No, she's gone! Let's follow her, Maggie! I thought you said you were going home. We're going home. That was before you found the ghost. You got it all on tape, right? Let me see. No, don't watch that! Magnolia's story end. That was cute. That was really cute. Still not quite 2 hours yet. I know I'm gradually trying to build up my streaming stamina. So yeah, probably just continue after a quick... Hmm. On second thought, maybe I'll just impose a quick little break. A little break. So I'll allow all of you to get drinks or snacks along with myself. Go potty. Take care of business. Yeah. Yeah, I could really use something to snack on right now. Let's say, maybe 5 to 10 minutes. 5-10 minutes. We're going to break. I'll see you back soon. got a whole ham and cheese and lettuce sandwich in my belly. I also have a second one here, but I figured enough time has passed to get back into our little gay cave story. So I guess with that, actually let me take just one little swig. Okay, I'm set. Let's go to Lottie's story. Just hold on, Maggie. I'll definitely be able to find my way. I hope. How hard could it be anyway? I'm not a little kid anymore. I wouldn't get lost in the same cave twice, would I? There's nothing to be afraid of. Everything will turn out just fine. Come to think of it, Maggie was there back then, too. Lottie, you don't have to listen to those jerks. Everyone already knows you're the bravest in the whole class. A dare's a dare. I'm gonna show them by bringing back something really cool. No, the ghost is gonna get you. Don't go. There's no such thing as ghosts, Maggie. Just wait right there if you're gonna be such a fraidy cat. Lottie! If you don't come back real soon, I'm gonna tell. Jeez, that crybaby tattletale's gonna get me in trouble. This is only gonna take like a second anyway. All I have to do is find something cool. There's plenty of cool stuff in caves. It's not scary at all. It's just kind of dark and cold. Maggie was right about one thing, though. I'm the bravest out of anyone in the whole school. And today I'm gonna prove it. This might be harder than I thought. The only thing down here is rocks. A rock's not gonna prove anything. Everyone's just gonna say I picked it up off the ground somewhere. I gotta find something really cool. Rocks, rocks, rocks. There's gotta be something better than just rocks down here. Wait a second. I already came this way. Stupid cave turned me around. Maybe all the cool stuff is back where I came in. Which way was that again? Maybe this one. Okay, baby, I will stretch. That feels good. Not this place again. Dumb cave. It just goes in circles. I'm not lost. It's just the stupid cave's fault. This is the right way for sure. Got all turned around again. There's not even anything cool down here. I hate caves. They're so stupid. I want to go home. Ah! Ghost! I'm sorry for coming here. The other kids dared me. Go scare them instead. You're not gonna do anything? Huh? Where'd it go? Are you showing me the way out? Wait! Come back, ghost! Oh, I can get out from here. But where'd the ghost lady go? I didn't get to thank her. Lottie! You came back! You came back! Yeah, of course. Hey, quit crying all over me. Lottie! Ah! Why'd you come all the way in here anyway? Were you too scared? Yeah, but I thought the ghost got you. Oh yeah, the ghost! She helped me find my way back. Really? Yeah, she was so cool. You should have seen her. None of the other kids believe me. Not about going in the cave or seeing that ghost. Except for Maggie. You're the only one I could drag along on this expedition. All this just to see that ghost again. I've been too afraid of getting lost again to come back here on my own. But now here I am, running around this place like it's nothing. I'd better apologize to Maggie for dragging her along. I should have at least been looking out for her more. Maybe I was too excited about finding that ghost again. But I can't help it. I fell in love that day. I hear a voice. Maggie! Lottie! I finally found you! I'm sorry for taking so long. This place is one big labyrinth. Anyway, I remember the way out, so let's just go. I found a ghost. What? Could it be? Where'd she go? Azun, where are you? The ghost has a name? Azun, I thought you weren't going to disappear yet. Lottie still has to see you. There she is. Whoops. I guess she's just being shy. It's really her. It seems like Maggie actually made friends with her. I'm so jealous. No, she's gone. Let's follow her, Maggie. I thought you said we're going home. That was before you found a ghost. You got it all on tape, right? Let me see. No, don't watch that. Lottie's story end. Even shorter. Extras. I mean, Maggie has one thing right. Lottie is a babe. This one looks really good too. Playing reading wasn't really a game exactly either way. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun to make. Aww. I think Nami does a lot of RPG Maker stuff on Itch.io. So maybe we should check out some more. I mean, no doubt I've probably picked up one of their games in my collection. Let's see, it's 2 hours? I know I played one before, and it was pretty dang short. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. It's in a book. Reading Rainbow. That's all I've been doing tonight. Reading words with like 8 out of 10% or like 80% success rate. Yeah, I think this one. This one right here. Called Lonely Wolf Treat. But capture treats. There we are. Waha! And then I gotta drag it down, right down there. Could be a little smaller. Alright. Lonely Wolf Treat, last minute decision to play this game. It's made in RPG Maker, clearly. It's pretty short from what I remember. It's a new game. So we're playing as a wolfie. Okay, shift to go faster.
I know a lot in different kinds of games. Is there anything to expect here? Nope. Um, I'm not usually fond of like winter biomes just because of a lot of the times they look really samey to me. Like it's just a whole lot of white, a whole lot of pine trees, rocks. Sometimes you see like a cliff face right here. Just wilderness out there. I acknowledge it can work, but it's not really my favorite setting. At least it's not a fucking sewer level. I hate sewer levels. Wolf! Everyone get inside and lock your doors! Yep, and this is how it be. Eleni. Someone's watching from the window. Hello? You been lurking with this? This is a Lonely Wolf Treat. It was just a split-second decision to play this game because I think its creator worked on the visual novel we just finished, which was Tunnel Vision. And then I finished Carmilla before that. I figured, like, just to see, like, it was in my itch.io collection, might as well. You know, add a little bit more time to the stream. Locked. Locked. Dango and Manju. Hello. Folks like you are a danger to this town. We won't let you through. Annie's exactly right. Scram, carnivorous beast. Cinnamon family residence. Locked. Snow bunny? At least this one doesn't run away. Oh. Yes, hello. You won't get past me, Wolf. I'm not gonna let you eat any of my friends. Okay. Hey, you rotten wolf! How dare you wander in our town and scare our children? You best stay away from now on. I'm sorry. It says vacant. Empty. 2 months later. Hungry. Same old painting. Not very comfortable. It snowed again last night. Thanks for keeping me warm. Oh. Empty. Where's something warm? Yeah. Anime Hot Springs. Currently closed for renovations. We apologize for the inconvenience. Foxes live that way. I will say, even though I'm not the biggest fan of snow and winter environments, a lot of times they do have really pretty tunes. Wait. Cup noodles. as well get two. Just take it and get out of here. Sorry. Wow. Hey, Wolf! Why are you always coming here to buy food? Why don't you just starve and die? Wow! Rude? You haven't snapped and eaten everyone yet, but that doesn't mean you're not gonna. One day you will, and I'll be here to stop you. I won't eat anyone. If you're not here to eat us, then go back to where you came from. But the avalanche. Ugh, I don't care where you go, as long as you stop coming here and buying food from Danny. If you ever lay a paw on him, I won't forgive you. Charming little place. Oh? You can't pass without authorization. Ah. That's nice. Just need to boil some water now. I'm still hungry. Save me! Ah! Wolf! I'm surrounded! I can't escape! I'm sorry for barging in! Please don't eat me! Okay. Huh? Really? You won't eat me? I won't. Oh! Thank goodness! A fox was chasing me! I was worried I couldn't make it back home and your door was unlocked, so... It's okay. Thank you for understanding! And thank you for not eating me. I knew a wolf lived around here, but I didn't expect to meet you like this. Do you want to go home? Huh? You mean you'd scare the fox off for me? Sure, if you want. Wow! Even though you're a wolf, you're so super nice! Thank you! My name's Mochi. What's yours? Treat. Alright, Treat. Please help me get back home. I wonder where that fox is hiding. A wolf! You stole my prey! I won't forget this! You really scared her off. Thanks, Treat. Sure, no problem. I'd like to repay you somehow. Is there anything I can do? No, that's okay. I didn't do anything worth being repaid for. But you totally helped me out. I'm not gonna leave until I can do something for you in return. Your cabin is so cute. I like your chair. There's no fire! Aren't you cold? Not really. Are you sure? You look so skinny. You can't keep warm with no body fat. There's no food in here. Yeah. Treat! I know what I can do for you. I'm gonna make you a nice dinner. Do you like curry? I've never had it before. You gotta try it! It's my favorite! That's why I want to make it for you. Plus you'll have leftovers to eat later. You really don't have to. I want to! So just let me do this one thing, okay? I've got all the ingredients at my house. Let's go together. It's probably not a good idea. My place isn't too far from here. Just follow this path all the way to the end. That's where my house is. Okay. There's no rush or anything. We can go at whatever pace you want. Ah! Wolf! Hey, it's okay. She may be a wolf, but Treat is actually really nice. Huh? You're lying.
There's no such thing as a nice wolf. They're all horrible monsters.
But she really is nice. She saved me from a fox.
What if she wanted you to herself? She's tricking you. You better watch out or you'll get eaten. I shouldn't have bothered him.
Treat, you didn't do anything wrong. Let's just go, okay?
A wolf being followed around by a little bunny. Frosting sure is a strange town.
I don't think I've seen you before. My name's Mochi, and this is Treat. Who might you be?
Just a traveler. Call me Boreas.
What a super foreign-sounding name. It's nice to meet you, Boreas.
You're a traveler? What kinds of places have you seen? All sorts. I just flew in from the north. North? Did you happen to pass a pack of wolves on your way here? Would I be standing here in front of you if I had? Ah, so you're afraid of us too. No, I didn't mean it like that. I'm saying wolves must not be as irrationally violent as we think for this little one to trust.
Little one, you two are just super tall. I'm being bullied.
They might have tried eating you.
Me or him? Both? That's so scary.
I see. Lucky I didn't run into them. Should go back to Mochi's house first.
All the way to the end. Alright, I got the curry powder, veggies, most importantly the carrots. But,
looks like I'm out of rice. Hey Mochi, you don't have to do this. We can just forget about the curry.
Are you kidding? No way! We'll just have to run to the store.
Why would you buy me food?
Because I want to feed you, silly! I owe you one, and I'm going to need to buy rice either way, so don't feel bad.
You're persistent.
That's right! I said I'd make you curry, so I'm definitely going to make you some sweet, delicious curry. Let's go! Same little tyke.
Mochi? What are you doing bringing that wolf in here?
Shopping, of course. I'm out of rice. Could I buy some?
It's not going to the wolf, is it?
Her name is Treat, and she saved me from a fox today. I'm making curry to repay her kindness.
You can't. When we feed wolves, they just stick around even longer. You don't want to live in a town full of wolves, do you?
No, but this one's nice. Even though she looks so super hungry, she never once tried to eat me up.
You still shouldn't feed wolves, but your cousin would get mad at me if I denied you service. Here's the rice, kiddo.
Thanks, Danny. I'll tell Juju you did me a solid, 'kay?
Wait, who's that one person down there?
Oop, hydrate. Thank you, baby.
Hey, Mochi.
What is it? Are you finally getting excited for the curry?
I just need to ask, are you doing all this out of pity?
Huh? Like I said, I want to repay you.
But I barely did anything.
You don't want the curry, do you? Even though I promise it'll be really good?
That isn't the problem.
Oh, I know what we need. Meat! I can't believe I nearly forgot. We can probably buy some off those foxes.
It's west of here, right? To reach where the foxes live?
That sure changed your mind fast. But I'm a little scared. You'll have to protect me, okay?
Just your average cooking adventures. Are you okay?
Yeah, you'll protect me, right? I have nothing to worry about. Train tracks.
Anything over here?
This is the way to the train station. You're not taking us off the mountain, are you?
No, sorry. We can go back. don't have to apologize. I was just wondering why you started heading this way.
Do you ever think about going somewhere far away?
What? I just moved here, silly. Far away is where I came from.
Ah, you're right. Forget I asked. Oh. Welcome to... Wait, I know you!
Ah, it's the fox that chased me! I was hoping we wouldn't run into her.
So you're bringing back what's rightfully mine, huh? About time. We're making curry. Mochi says she'll sell meat here.
Well, I don't know if they do. I figured...
You want to buy meat here? What's wrong with you? Just eat the rabbit. I wouldn't know how to make curry on my own. I need her help.
Even though we bonded so much, you're still giving a practical answer like that? I'm hurt.
Well, you could buy chicken at our little convenience store over there. Can't believe you'd rather buy our chicken than gobble up the fresh meat right behind you. But whatevs. I didn't know you had a store. I would have come in sooner.
Huh? Is it your first time coming here? I thought for sure you'd be chummy with these guys, considering you're all predators.
No way, wolves and foxes are not all buddy-buddy just because we have similar tastes. How stupid. The only reason I'm not afraid of her right now is because I've got backup. This is our turf.
Yeah! Tree, let's hurry up and buy what we need so we can get out of here!
So you're gonna have rabbit curry one of these days? You better share. With who? Your new best friend, Moxie. Come on. Doesn't rabbit curry sound so incredibly tasty? You have to admit it does.
It sounds like the worst thing ever!
We're not talking to you, Din-Dins. Din-Dins? Yeah, it's a new nickname I just came up with. Short for dinner.
I hate this!
This art style is super cute, I know! No, Peppa, we've got some tasty meats coming for a visit. Your accent's weirder than usual. Why are you doing that?
What's the matter, Pally? We're just having a good old time here, ain't we?
Wolf girl, end my misery. I'm so done listening to her lame jokes day in and day out. Kill me.
Oh, she's just pulling your leg. And so am I. 'Tis a pleasure to make your acquaintance, madams.
Ugh, Salt! Why can't you act normal in front of strangers? You're making a horrible first impression.
I don't understand any of this. I want to go home.
So you caught a rabbit. Come to rub it in our faces? Yeesh, could you be any more hostile? You really think she'll share her scraps if you come at her with that attitude?
Tree, I don't like this. Foxes are scary.
We're only here to buy meat for the curry we're making together. Saving the rabbit for another day? Must be nice having so much to eat. Don't you know how hungry we are? Aw, Pepper, don't mislead him. You got plenty to eat. You just always crave little rabbit meats. Why do you think I agreed to move here with you? This place was built on the principle that living next to a town of rabbits guarantees great meals. In other words, you're all lazy.
Spot on, spot on. I like you, Wolfie. What are you doing, Tree? Don't make friends with them.
Please let us buy some meat. Yeah, hi. Oh. I can't pay for it.
Oh, I'll just buy it for you then.
Sorry. Thanks. A rabbit coming here and buying meat. Frickin' weird.
I know it's weird. Don't make fun of me.
Well, there you go.
Chicken! Thank goodness! Now we can leave!
Just trash. Okay. Just wanted to check. We have everything now.
Oh, that's right! Let's head back to your house so we can start cooking.
I like her little hops. Boing, 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 boing.
Boing, 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 boing. Bunny! Mochi! Hey, Juju, what's up?
What do you mean, what's up? Danny said you're trying to feed a wolf. What are you thinking?
I was thinking, since she saved me and all,
you know, I'm kind of tired of explaining it. Everyone keeps acting like Treat is bad news just because she's a wolf, but you're all wrong.
So let's go, Tree. We've got curry to make. Hold it! You might not care if you get eaten up, but what about your family? You can't endanger the whole town by letting a wolf roam around. You never think about anyone but yourself. Stop acting like a selfish I... Hey, you can't say that. What? It's the truth! No, it isn't. She wanted to make curry together. She even followed me into the fox's place to buy meat for it. She did what? So don't call her selfish. We're going to go make curry now. Goodbye. See you, Juju? Juju was super mad. Wonder how I can make it up to her. I'm sorry I was rude to her. I didn't like what she was saying about you. No, I'm happy you defended me. Thank you, Treat. Yeah. I'm glad we could become friends. Even though you're a wolf, you've been so nice to me all day. Could you stop saying that? Huh? Stop saying what? Saying what? When you say, even though you're a wolf, and try to compliment me, doesn't that assume wolves are supposed to be bad? No, it's not that I think all wolves are bad. It's just, I always thought they can't resist eating bunnies like me. But that's the problem. Huh? But normally, that's how it is, right? It's just nature. I know. I just don't want anyone to think I'm bad. That wolves are bad. I really hate scaring everyone. Hey, let's go inside. We've been running around in the cold for too long. I didn't know how you felt at all. I hope this curry makes up for everything. I'm really sorry. How did you end up living here? I never got to ask you before. I ran away from my pack. It's not that I was trying to leave for good, but then an avalanche blocked the way home. Why'd you run away? I was selfish. There were rules I just couldn't follow, so it doesn't matter. I've been stuck. I didn't know what to do, so I moved in here. If the real owner ever shows up, I'll probably be kicked out. If wolves really are bad, trying to be good won't change that fact. And if I really am bad, then I deserve all this. I just want to be good. If it's worth anything, I think you're good. I think everyone deserves a warm meal with a friend, whether they're a wolf or a bunny or a fox or whatever. I'll get the curry ready and we can finally eat it together. You'll feel a lot better after that, I promise. No. Wholesome. I'll be back again tomorrow, okay? I want to make another batch of curry to share with all the foxes. I think they'd like that. You really want to do that for them? Yeah, you convinced me. Everyone should be given a chance, no matter what they are. Plus, if we start being nice and give them good food, maybe they won't chase us around anymore. We'll all be friends. Yeah, I hope so. I hope so too. See you tomorrow! To be continued. Story, art, and music by Nom Nom Nami. I was right! I was right. Same artist. Frabatini, Niku, Peavy, Ila, and my supporters on Patreon. Clementine belongs to Triff. It's Seiku belongs to Kayla Grimes. Thanks for playing. That was Lonely Wolf Treat. That was really dang cute. Just about as cute as the first time around. But apparently in the credits, there are characters I didn't encounter. And to my knowledge, like, the whole thing with, like, the rabbits and the wolves and foxes, like, it's like Nami's own little mini-series on Itch.io. But since, like, I think they, like, put different characters as the protagonists. I know this one is the first, if I remember right. It's just the first of that mini-series, and there are other characters to follow around
and do more stories with likely just as wholesome as this one. So I'll probably think about getting the other games in the future. This is the only one I have for sure. And with that, I don't really have too much else. Hey, Hood! Yeah, Treat Games. Hi, Zeno! If you about to stop in, I was just thinking if there's anything else I wanted to do tonight. Tonight's streams are kind of a mishmash. The only consistent thing is that I've been playing a bunch of itch.io games. Started with CARMILLA, and finished that. Then we did Tunnel Vision, which also had art from Nami, who made, you know, the Treat games. And that one was just as cute. CARMILLA was pretty dark. This is stark contrast. What do I want to do? It's 2.5 hours. I could theoretically keep going. But what do I play? What to play? What to play? La 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 la. I know there's one game that's been in my mind for like the past week and a half or so, but I think I'm gonna save that for next Monday, just because the whole shebang it's got going. I suppose, close Treat down. Remove that source, and let's see what else I got in my collection. A lot of these games I haven't even touched yet, so I have no idea how many of them are how long. I find it funny that even though this is... I have a folder specifically for itch.io games, and yet I also have games like Celeste and Hollow Knight in here. Even though I probably didn't get them from itch. Itchy. I don't think I got Cave Story from itch too. Itchy. Sheesh. What do I play? I've got so many. So this one I'm taking a look at is called Retro Arcade Adventure Remade. I have no idea what to expect with this one other than, like, it's probably a retro arcade adventure. It's something to help kill time. Yeah, let's check it out for a little while.
Give it a good old college try. Celeste, yeah! I haven't played much of Celeste yet. I played, like, some of it, some of, like, its first... some of the start, but, like, I never really got far at all with it. Oh, apparently I need to install a thing. Only 38 mega, though, so it shouldn't be problems. I know one thing, not necessarily VOD, just like the game. Understandable. I too make excited exclamations when people play a game I like. Is that it? Is it gonna open itself? Do I need to open my start menu? Ah, here we are. Retro Arcade Adventure Remade. Whoa! What are these sound effects? Window capture. RAR. It's abbreviated literally as RAR. So this is Retro Arcade Adventure Remade. I have no idea what to expect. It's very wide. Very wide. Now wider than me. No. Oh. Apparently I had two of the windows up. Silly me. Okay, press start. Is it enter? Yes. What's the difference between an adventure and a minigame? Adventure probably has a story. Let's go with the story. Choose a skin. You can play as a wolf. I have no idea who this little rascal is. This is Red Hero. Looks like a magic person. Oh, we got an old geezer. We got spiky helmet, dude. Let's try this one. A long time ago. God! Whoa! What in the world? Oh! I saw that. I turned into a freaking dragon. So this is almost kind of like a Zelda-like OG Zelda. I can dig it. Obtain special weapon. Oh, I got lightning! Seems to be one-time use, though. Do I have a limited number of continues? Or lives? Dragon! Oh, that was way too easy. Into the woods. Into a shrine. Ah, just more enemies. I got a bow and arrow. Bam! Oh. I love attacks that can wipe the screen. Wahoo! Oh my god, I got a shovel. Oh. Oh. Oh, kill it. Kill it. Kill it. Oh. Didn't like that. Did not like. Ooh. Special weapon. Bam. How do I heal? Whoa. What's it? What? A whole bunch of cool friends. Wahoo! Going Randy Savage. Or more like Arnold. No, give me that! Give me that! Bam! Oh dear. I see. I see. I see. What the? No. Got it. Oh, I'm almost dead. Ah! I got nommed. Got nommed by centipede worm. Come on, coward. Face me like a true man. And see? It's no good. You try to be a true man and... suddenly you're locked away in whatever the hell this place is. No! No! Get out of here! Whoa! I don't know what that was, but I liked it. Bam! Oh my god, again? Ah, he's heading right for me this time. Whoa! I got hiccups. I don't like that. No! It looks more like a fish now, which mechanical fish. No! Stop! Stop! Thank you. Kablooey. Excuse me? I fail to see the logic in that. I can only ever be dragon for a moment. Is it already final boss time? Ooh! What do I attack? Ah. Do I only have one life? No! 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 I don't even know if those things in the corner mean lives. It doesn't appear to be. They're just little dudes. Oh, maybe it's the number of enemies that are on the screen. In which case, yeah, it would be one. How about thee? Down here. But only when I'm close to you. Gotcha! Oh, did I save a princess? Something? Health potion, nice. Dragon! Oh, this is by far my favorite power-up. It's pretty smooth, too. Yeah. I don't even know what the hell the deal with that is, but I'll take it. Here. Oh god. Oh. Oh. Oh no, I got sandwiched. Sandwiched by creepies! Oh, maybe they're twins. Get out of here. Swat you. Ooh. Hello, pretty space lady. 1,000 years in the future. Okay. Oh wow, these colors. God, these guys are quite a bit tougher. Or at the very least, they're better at dodging my attacks and defending themselves.
others too, I think. I think they run me over. Oh. Alright, fine. Yay, health! Yay, power up! Okay, I can confirm the little counter there is the number of enemies. Yes! Yes! Okay. Who you? You teleport. Whoa. Wow. Simple. Oh, it's not done yet. Oh. This is fun. There's literally nothing else to this game than just attack and adventure. And I can admire that. No. Why can't I hear you? You're one rude dude. Yeah, I get that you can only attack him after that combo, but oh my god, he's a mini-me! Mini skelly dude. A long time ago. Oh. It's over already. Alright then. Well, that was fun. Dave the Uncreated Musician. Oh. We're playing, yeah. And then there's minigame mode, which I assume is just like a gauntlet. That is Retro Arcade Adventure Remade. Really short, but really sweet. I liked it. And with that, we're coming up at just about the 3-hour mark. I think this is where I'm gonna call it quits. Thank you all for joining me tonight. I know I planned for most Thursdays to be a stream day, but, you know, it's not always, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not always, like, palpable to stream every Thursday, just because, like, every so often on Thursdays I have therapy appointments, so, like, usually I just end up drained throughout the rest of the day. But
But yeah, that was a whole whopping 4 games tonight. Wonder if I should like make this somewhat of a thing where I just do like an onslaught of different indie games. I definitely like to do it. I love supporting smaller developers. And again, next Monday I'm gonna plan to stream. It's something. If I don't change my mind by that point, you can anticipate it to be something similar to Toho. Something similar. You could even say directly inspired by Toho, and it's something that has wormed its way into my heart over the past few years. Exactly what it is, you may or may not know already, but if you don't, you will find out on Monday. Again, unless other stuff drops in, or I just flat out change my mind. I know there's always more room to play more Toho, I definitely won't complain on that. Let's see. We got Luma, we got Phoebe, got Lady Lunari, we got Suga, we got Cece, Ara, got Ellie, just looking for somebody to raid. You know? Well... yeah, I think in the spirit of, the fact that I, wanted to, kind of, like, show my appreciation for her work and her presence in the community, I suppose let's go raid Phoebe. Just a second. I'm pulling up her stream on my phone, and right now it's playing an ad, and my volume is blaringly loud because a lot of times I tend to just listen to it while I'm sleeping or trying to sleep, etc., etc. And now we can do the raid proper. Slash raid. Here we are. You'd be hard-pressed to find a sweeter bean than Phoebe. She's playing Unrailed right now. I have honestly no idea what that game entails, but she's definitely worth checking out. She's definitely worth supporting. She's incredibly talented and incredibly sweet. She deserves all the love, and I hope her beehive grows up big, strong, healthy, and happy, and friendly. So with all that out of the way, that's been Carmilla, Tunnel Vision, Lonely Wolf Treat, and Retro Arcade Adventure Remade. I'll see you all, most likely tomorrow, as I'm collabing with Rem, most likely for AI Dungeon. There might be more people tomorrow too. But anyway, Thanks for coming. Oh yes, Swimmy, I love you, my lily pals. Now let's go raid Phoebe.